Welcome to the Innovation Squadcast, making a positive difference in learning through innovation.
Welcome to Innovation Squadcast. In today's episode, we're thrilled to introduce our new initiative, the AI Navigator, which will guide our educators through the district's guidelines for the effective use and implementation of AI in the classroom. As we also explore getting started with AI, we're going to talk about a cutting-edge resource our district is rolling out this school year called Magic School. AI, which empowers teachers and enriches student learning experiences with tools and personalized pathways tailored to each student's needs. Join us as we uncover how this innovative technology is transforming teaching methods, enhancing student engagement, and preparing our educators for the future of learning. I am Jimmy Kate.
Priscilla Calcutt.
Nicole Lapointe.
And Pam Hubler.
And we are, again, talking about AI, and Priscilla was a major part of the team that, through BCSD with other educators through BCSD that helped kind of get AI going, and really want to, focus on today's episode, the AI Navigator, and really how to find and get to inside of Magic School. And then we'll have other episodes coming up. So on the different tools inside of Magic School as well. But, kind of where did this journey begin with AI navigation in Berkeley County School District, and what are some of the key kind of initiatives?
Yeah, we started about a year and a half ago, really researching and looking at all the large organizations and kind of looking for trends. What did they believe was a good thing in terms of AI, and what were some of the challenges that they saw in AI. We also looked at how other districts were implementing it and trying really to learn from their mistakes and really to harness what they did very well.
Right.
And so we got together with administrators, instructional coaches, teacher forum representation, and district staff, as well as technology and academics, and really think it was a great team. And we dove right in and created what we call the Navigator, the AI Navigator. And this is just really a guide. So if you kind of think about it, it's the starting point.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely not the ending point, because with AI, growing and, giving us more access to different types of things and stuff like that, we're going to continue to add to it, and others will be a part of that as well.
Excellent. And, looking at what is probably the biggest part of this AI Navigator that, teachers need to think about as they're kind of thinking about how they're going to implement, this into their classroom?
When we're really thinking about that AI Navigator, there are 4 pillars, and these are pillar stuff is like ethical use and privacy, data security, and those types of things. And so sometimes I think teachers really need to review those guidelines, because it gives them something to work from. So we hear across the board that a lot of concern is with cheating and plagiarism. And one thing that AI Navigator does is it just leans upon our policies that are already in place. So if we think about the student behavior code, that's still in existence, and that addresses cheating and plagiarism, whether it's with technology or without, as well as the student acceptable use policy. One thing I liked about the Navigator are those tools that you can find under the academic piece. And the Navigator is broken up into segments, into sections. Nicole, scroll down so then we can...
and we'll have this kind of linked to our show notes as well. So
yeah, and while we're talking about it, let's go ahead and talk about where you can access it.
Right.
You can go right into Class Link, and then you go under Employee Resources, and you will see the AI Navigator. But when you look under the academics place, there are like little circles or little icons, and I really think that they hone in on some of the main things that people want to see, like those classroom examples are huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like the more I'm looking through and digging into the Navigator, this is everything we're doing anyway, and we're trying to promote with good digital citizenship. So it's not like it's something extra. It's, exactly what we've been doing. It's just mapped out a little differently. So
and then a big part of what you focus on, Nicole, is digital citizenship, and I think this falls right into it. And so what can teachers do when they're teaching digital citizenship, and where does AI kind of fit into that?
So there will be some videos sent out for parents as well as students, and teachers will be able to show the students this video. It's a quick video. It's narrated. It has a lot of really good stopping points, but it's just authentic stopping points. Like, this is, what's happening, and how would you react? Or it's all this stuff, all these digital citizenship skills we're teaching along the way anyway. So we're just providing a video, and that will come out soon.
Excellent.
Yeah, and some of those important points are like, for example, you always want to check for accuracy and bias and things like that, and then protecting that personal identifiable information. So I do agree with Nicole. This is just like building upon what already exists within digital citizenship, except for AI is just a new technologies that has come about.
Gotcha. And Pam, you brought some books over here, and we lean on some of these experts in the field of AI, and Matt Miller, and talking about like student creation and talking about the use of AI and how to do that, and what are some ways that that these experts and things we've read that are found that have been pretty effective with the use of AI.
What I love about, we've got the AI for Educators by Matt Miller, and then we have the AI Roadmap by Dr. John Spencer. Both of them give you examples of one, AI is already in your classroom. Whether you think that's what it is, like all those voice to text that we use under Google Docs, and really years ago when Google came, people were so worried about, well, now we're going to be able to just Google answers. So, but here we're still using Google, and it's not a scary thing. So I think both of these books kind of give you real life examples of how it's already here and how we can use it. And then John Spencer has the quote, just because you can automate a task doesn't mean you should automate the task. And that's one of my favorites, because there are some things that will really save teachers time or give students kind of a heads up as far as like starting a process. Maybe they're not a great writer and they want to get some ideas. Once you have the ideas, then they can go from there. I mean, you can tell when you read one of these books that the voice of that author is actually there. Whether or not they started with the ideas using AI or not, it doesn't matter, because they started it and they added their own. So I think it's just a kind of a change in mindset that both of these books are really good for you to really start thinking about it. And we'll have book studies on both of these books. So that'll be available if anybody wants to join.
Yeah, I think the book studies will be great. And that Spencer book, I love how he takes each content area and really dives into it and shows examples of what it would look like if you were to integrate AI into the classroom. So he has ELA, PE, the arts, etc. But going back to something that Nicole said, I do want people to know that inside of the Navigator, it does define what AI is and talks about the 3 different kinds. And really where we are now with education, what's new to us is that generative type of AI where there's an input and then AI gathers all that data from around and it gives you an output. But your output's only as good as your input.
Yeah, I think it's important teachers to just start thinking about how are they going to implement, when are they going to allow students to start using it, or if they're going to let them use it at all, how are they going to use it, and then teaching them how to use it properly through teaching them about prompt engineering and how to effectively use an AI. Think of it as an AI as a partner, a think partner. Think of it as somebody who can help implement all those things. And we're going to have, again, future episodes talking about, best practices and things like that. This is really just getting you thinking about how to do it. This is good, again, thinking about the guidelines and implementation and then getting you thinking about it. But then one other thing I noticed that through the PDs that we do, the 80-20 rule, I really like is the idea of, we can 80% of it can be kind of started and thought about and created, but it has to be that final part has to be through the human part. And I think that's an important part of this as well.
Yeah, because if you don't give that final human touch, checking it for accuracy, adding in to make sure it meets your needs, you might have something, totally off. Yeah, just like when you Google something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get what you were looking for.
And then, so the tool that we're going to be using is going to be Magic School. And Magic School is a really great teacher, I think, friendly, tool when it comes to implementation. And I think that, the fact that we have it through ClassLink for our teachers, the fact that it is controlled, I think the best part by our teachers and what they can allow for students to have is, as far as through ClassLink and what they're allowed to use in our district, I think that's an amazing, part of this. So.
Yeah, and teachers and admin and coaches, when they were in the sessions, that made them super happy to know, oh, so I'm in control. I can release these tools to my students, but I can also pause or lock or take them back. So students don't have free reign over Magic School.
Yeah.
It's whatever the teacher.
And rolling back, thinking about why Magic School AI was selected. Well, when we think about the amount of time teachers spend, that's the U.S. Department of Ed talked about on average, it's 50 hours a week teachers spend working on planning, working with their students, et cetera. And we really feel like that this tool will help buy back some time. If they're familiar with other tools like Chat GPT, and Google Gemini, other things like that, it does have a chatbot inside as well as other resources. But the big thing about Magic School that stood out among all other tools is that it is COPA compliant, FERPA compliant, and meets all those data and safety security regulations. So that was a winner.
And I think also it was created by educators.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They know, you know, they've been in our shoes. They've been in the classroom. They know, you know, the ins and outs. So that's huge too.
Yeah. And then has, again, tons of tools for teachers to help kind of streamline their life through email writing, through, you know, any kind of introduction, has 504, has DOK questions,
rubric generators,
right? So there's all kinds of tools, and we're going to get in future episodes into like really each tool, how to use it, best practices, things like that. But really this can empower you to think about how can you personalize and how can you make kind of changes to your lessons to help best, you know, your students. And that's what, again, in the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So
I like along the way in Magic School, it kind of stops you and reminds you about being checking this, make sure it's accurate, give it that human touch. It'll stop you along the way. You know, whether everybody reads it or not is another thing, but it's there and it reminds you more than once. So it's saying like, this isn't the end all be all.
Right.
Yeah, it is magical because everything it has, but you still have to put that 20% of that human touch.
Yep. And prompt it, I think, effectively to make sure that you're getting that, you know, I want more student engagement. I want, you know, more personalized this. I want to adapt this. I want to translate this into a language to help some of my, you know, my EL students. So all of those things I think are very important when it comes to that as well.
One thing that a Georgia school district that we studied really talked about is beginning with those ethics in mind. And so that digital citizenship is so important before putting that tool right in front of the students.
Yes. So definitely start that piece, I think, and think about how we're going to teach our students how to use it, when we're going to allow it to take place, how, you know, teach them to be prompt engineers, and so that they can kind of help navigate the future of it as well. So.
And just like with other resources in your class, you can allow, you know, okay, today we're allowing you to use some AI. For this lesson, start it out first on your own and then add some AI in. Or maybe, you know, you have the green light. Go ahead, use AI for whatever you're working on.
Right.
So.
There's a great green light, yellow light, red light visual in that Navigator. We definitely want to share too, Dr. Dixon, his beliefs around AI. There is a quote inside of the Navigator from Dr. Dixon, and he really doesn't want us to be afraid of it. He wants us to lean into it and try to maximize its benefits while we're recognizing the challenges or risks that are involved. But one thing he does say is that it will never replace good quality planning and instruction.
Absolutely. Yep. And it just really can enhance it. And I think that's the future of it, is that, you know, you can take that lesson that you've always wanted to rework, and now you've got that kind of think partner. You've got that person that you can, or not a person, but you've got the chatbot that you can conversate with. You've got to, you know, and have that conversation with to really kind of, how can I enhance this? How can I make it better? How can I increase student engagement? How can I personalize it and make it the lesson that you've always wanted it to be, and really benefit our students? And at the end of the day, that's what the end of the day is. It's all about.
Right. Make, you know, they're techie, but still making them the critical thinkers.
Yes.
The creation is still there, the innovative thinkers.
Yep. The creativity, all that. We want all that still in there, but just how can we enhance it? How can we make it better? And I think, you know, Magic School can give us that opportunity, but at the end of the day, it's all going to be based off of how you use it and how you implement it as well. So.
And if you look at our work and life skills, really most of those you can't do those things with AI. Like, you still have to do that critical thinking, like you said. That's all the human aspect of work and life skills.
Yes. Yep. Teach them to be collaborators and all that. So it's all still there. It's just now we can, you know, use this this tool, again, found in class link. So again, check it out, kind of get started. Look out for future episodes. Look out for future PDs. If you see your ILCs inside the schools, grab us. We'll be more than happy to kind of have those conversations with you and implementation and be able to have those, you know, how can we use it? How can we not? And we're going to have, again, a lot more on that as we continue througut the school year as well.
Yeah.
Jimmy, did you use a little bit of AI help for
Absolutely.
writing?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, all of our introductions are done through AI, and usually some of the show notes and ideas and things like that. So it definitely is a great think partner. But at the end of the day, I also have to go in and I have to reprompt it. I have to go through, change different things. So it's definitely an 80-20 rule here when it comes to that.
We
And for-
practice what we preach.
Yes.
Right? Model the model.
Yep.
And for all you bookies out there, don't forget about the book study
Yes.
that Pam.
Yeah, and we'll have a
mentioned.
podcast on the book study when it's is it launched yet?
It hasn't launched
Yeah,
yet.
so
but
as soon
will
as it
soon.
launches, we'll have a podcast on the book studies, and we'll really get into the nitty gritty of what they're going to learn, how they can get signed up, and all that as well.
And
so
Matt Miller actually said that
Yes.
he'd do a podcast
yes,
with
so
us.
yeah,
Woohoo.
we're going to have Matt Miller. Yeah, so this is just the beginning, right? We're just getting started with it. We're going to do a lot more with it as we through. Definitely check out the show notes for resources. We'll have links to the podcast video if you want to watch that. There's also a link to the Innovation Squadcast PD through Unified Talent every 2 episodes. You listen to, there's a Google form you fill out talking about, just kind of describing what is in there, how you're going to use it, its implementation, things like that. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube so you get notifications. You can also follow it in Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts to get notifications of new episodes. And we want to hear from you on podcast topics. Reach out to your ILCs, email us. If you want to be on the podcast and discuss some of these things and how you're implementing AI, we'd love to hear from you as well. So reach out to us and we'll be happy to get you on the podcast. All right. Thanks for everybody for being here. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.